The sun is shining down, and I ain't crying now. I'm going crazy, my mind's hazy. But nothing's going wrong, just singing the song. Nothing's going wrong, just singing this song. The sun is shining down, and I ain't crying now. I'm going crazy, my mind's hazy. But nothing's going wrong, just singing the song.
Hopefully everybody's enjoying their Sunday. And if you're not, well, that sucks. That's about all there is to that. How's everybody doing? We got anybody here? Yeah, we got 12 people here. All right. It's not bad for a Sunday. Not bad for a Sunday. Hopefully we get some more people trickling in later on. Never really know. Never really know. How's it going? Hopefully everybody has their wine ready, right? So today, what's up corned beef soup? What's up Dylan? And again, I want to thank Torian. He donated today before the stream even started. He donated this afternoon, man. Thank you so much, Torian. I really appreciate that, dude. So today we're gonna do like what we did last time. I think that worked a lot better than what we have been doing. So what we'll do is we'll do these charts right here at the beginning, and then we'll take questions and do answers and stuff to those with charts that people request. So basically what we'll do is we'll take a list of charts people want to see, and then we'll also take questions as well, and then we'll use those charts that are requested to answer those questions. Hopefully that made sense. I'm not sure if I described that well enough. But yeah, so anyway, so this first part I'm just going to kind of do on my own, and then we'll interact with you guys after CLSN and go from there. Okay? All right. And if somebody wants to post on Stocktwits, you don't have to, but I did. But people don't seem to see my post. They see your guys's for some reason, though. I don't get that. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with Caper. Now, Caper is a stock that a lot of people have been watching on the Discord, and it's more of a long-term play. Get ready for Stocktwits tomorrow on the XXII board. Feed the trolls. That's funny. Now, this stock has recently, we have the 3-year pulled up. As you can see, it's basically been dying and consolidating for the last 3 years or so. Huge gap down, a little bit of gap up, and we're gapping up again, relatively insanely. Now, I drew this fib out earlier today just to readjust for this peak. And what I initially thought was pretty scary doesn't look as bad now, especially that we had this, oh, the banner. There you go. Sorry about that. So it doesn't look as bad now after this green candle here on the daily. I still don't like how the MACD is going, though, and I still don't like the stochastic momentum, how it's going. But the green candle gives us hope of a turnaround. Now, if you guys remember, my initial price projection for a retrace is 261, just going down about halfway on this green candle here. I'm still a little worried that it's going to happen, because as you can see, we closed out here at the bottom of this candle at 287, as opposed to at the top here where it peaked around 340, right? So technically it was up from the day before. It was 282 the day before, and now it's, 287. But again, our indicators are still going down, which, that's not that great to see. And if we pull up our pivot points here, let me go ahead and shade those in. You can see how it's in this resistance area, and it hasn't really broken free of it. So I'm kind of worried it's going to test the bottom of this resistance. Maybe not to 235. I don't think it's going to go that low, but definitely at least 261 is my thoughts. But the deal with this stock is it has PR coming within the next 28 days. So if you're buying this, plan on holding it for about 4 weeks or so and try to get it on this dip on the retrace and go from there. Like I said, I'm personally thinking 260, 261, and then watch the trends after that, okay? I don't really want to spend too much time on Caper right now. But yeah, just we need to watch this one tomorrow and Tuesday and just see if it can finally go into uptrend and get out of this nasty little mini downtrend that's been doing. Because as you can see here, it's kind of peaking, cycling down, peaking and cycling down. And each peak that we see is a lower peak, right? So we need to see this start reversing the other way. And again, it started going green at the end of the day, but we need to make sure that's going to continue. Okay? And again, it looks better on the 30-minute in terms of trend reversal and where the MACD is and everything. So it very well could continue up tomorrow. It's just, I don't really know yet. All right, so let's take a look at ATRS. Does anybody have any questions on Caper before I continue? Just let me know, and we can take another look at it really quick. But yeah, if nobody has any questions on Caper, we'll move on to ATRS. That is not a problem. Okay. All right, so we're probably good on Caper then. I know the stream's a little delayed from the chat, but if something pops up, we'll talk about it. Okay, so this is ATRS. And let me get these pivot points out of the way. Now we still have the same fib fan that we drew the other day. And I don't think we need to adjust it because it's hit it perfectly, as you can see here, and bounced back down, which is pretty much what I thought was going to happen, being that it hasn't had its news yet. I pretty much think it's going to consolidate around 390 for a little bit. But this uptrend is so strong, it very well may just ride along here. And that's what we're going to have to watch out for. But if you look in the past, when it has tested, it's gone back down. You see this? Pretty much every time it's peaked over the trend, it's gone back down and retested. So I don't see much of a reason that that won't happen again, especially being just how strong and extreme this rise was and how hot the MACD is. And now if you look at the MACD, if we make it a little bigger, this is a new high peak, right? For the first time in a long time. Now, if we go all the way back here to 2016 and draw a line, right? Very clearly a new high peak. So we don't really have much data saying if it's going to continue upwards or not, or if it's going to start retracing. But if the past is any indication, new peaks are leading to retracement, okay? So I'm a little bit worried about it this upcoming week, but I do think in general it's going to stay on this uptrend, no problem. It's just a matter of where is it going to retrace to. But if you've been watching the L2 and the buying and everything like that, it's been extremely strong. It's been holding at 390 just fine. And actually on Friday, it really wanted to bust through 390, but it just kept getting dumped on over and over and over. So something was definitely stopping it at 390, but I think once like 395 breaks and it holds, like it's going to be just fine. It's going to keep going. And again, I think ATRS is expecting PR October 17th to 20th. Okay. So that's only 9 days away. All right. They're expecting PR on the 17th and the 20th. So if you can hold this for like a week or so, week and a half, you should definitely see some more gains. Just try to buy on a dip first and hold it through the next couple weeks. Okay. So hopefully that helps out with ATRS for you guys. And welcome everybody, you're in. Thanks to everybody that's here. I know it's Sunday night, you could be doing stuff. So anybody that's here, Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Who needs to be social when you have stocks, right? All right, so let's take a look here at XXII again. We've been looking at this one for quite some time. And let's actually just go back to the MACD, and as you can see, this one's also making continuous newer highs, okay? It's already had its retracement. Yeah, chart bay, you're fine. Yeah, this is social. You're right, guys. And Eric, you got your cocktail? Me too, man. I'll cheers, buddy. Yeah, but who wants to watch football, man? Really, I'm over football. It's like it's all commercials now. There's really no gameplay. It's like 5 seconds of action and then 10 commercials. You know? I have like 2 commercials. All right. But again, it's making its newer highs on the MACD. It's making higher lows. And it's already started its new uptrend right here. It's already gotten its new buy signal on both the stochastic momentum and the MACD. Okay? So, yeah, college is okay. I can deal with college football because they're hungry. They want to play. But yeah, NFL has just gotten a little too, I don't know, who cares, you know? But again, this has already started its new uptrend. Where'd I go to college? I went to a couple colleges, but I went to Sam Houston State as like my main one. So we're getting this huge gap up here, but it's after a buy signal, and it's not really that hard above where this peak was here. So it looks pretty crazy. Yeah, Bearcats. I'm surprised you know of it, Nunchucks. Not many people know about Sam Houston. So like I said, it's a very strong upstream. It's not so insane that I think it's going to crash, and it actually is our first new bar on the upside of the MACD here. So honestly, I think it has a chance to continue its run tomorrow. It may retrace a little bit down to like 319 or so, but I think overall the trend should be up. My guess personally is that it's going to go along this fib line here. But let's take a look at the Ichimoku and see what it says. And hopefully you guys that are here, you were here for our Ichimoku lesson last time, because we went pretty deep into oh, you're an Aggie? Okay, man. Yes, you know. Yeah, I go down to A&M every once in a while. That's awesome. My buddy actually majored in like engineering down there, so went down there to visit quite a bit. Over off what was that place called that he lived at? Oh man, it's gonna bother me. But it's that huge apartment complex on the main road that has the CVS at the bottom and the Asian restaurant. Anyway, whatever place that was called, I think it starts with an M. But yeah. But as you can see, we did get our buy signal here on our Ichimoku. We're above the cloud, and we resisted this middle fib line just fine, and all our indicators are going up. So, yeah, North Point Crossing, yes, that's what it was. Nice, man. That's so funny. Yeah, that's funny. Wow. Small world, right? So yeah, it's all buy signals. Lagging indicator is up. The cloud is green. This is flipping up. So I honestly may not see, remember how my price target guys was like 240 to 250, this double bottom here? I honestly may not see it. You know what I mean? Oh, you lived in there for a year? That's hilarious, dude. Awesome. I don't think I'll see the 256 anytime soon, but I'm just still not hopping in just because I'm not. But I don't think it's a bad play, especially if you bought in down here at like a little under $3, you should be able to hold that and see what happens, especially if they have more news come out. I don't see any problems with this until you see the conversion line to start slow down again. But honestly though, if we get another huge gap up, you may want to sell some of your profits and ride some free shares, just in case of a pullback. But that pullback very well may not be till about $4 or so. Okay, so just keep an eye on it. Play it close to the chest, and don't be scared of taking your profits. But I definitely don't think it's a bad hold right now. If we take our Fibonacci, yeah, I mean it's above all of this, so it's on its own new trend already. Okay, let me even go to this double bottom. Yeah, and it's broken out of all the trends here from this peak to valley as well. So just be a little bit careful, but there's all the indicators are saying upward. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on XXII's chart or want to see something in particular on it, like an indicator or something like that? And awesome, 34 people. Guys, thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys got the link from the Discord, and if not, join the Discord. It's awesome. All the new people that we've gotten have already loved it. Links in the description of the YouTube video right after the PayPal link. How long, Joseph Kuo asked, how long would you hold it? I would hold it until it starts dipping back down from the peak. So you see like how here we had 3 red days after the peak, and then right here we had a couple red days after the peak. I think that when you start to see a couple of red days or 1 red day after a nice spike at a new high, it might be okay to sell some of it and then ride some down to the next dip and reload. That's what I would say. So I would hold this until you see like a nice solid red day on it. Would I redraw my fib fan anytime soon? Maybe. Honestly, right now, I think that this is a pretty good fib fan location. What I would honestly do instead of making a new fib fan right now, I'd probably pull up a fib arc actually, is what I would do. And I would probably take that from here over to here and just see what I got. So you can see how it kind of followed it here. And when it broke through here, it started going up, broke through here, started going up, broke through here, went up. So it doesn't really give us much indication of the future right now, but I think that's a good thing. I think it's going to keep going up from here for a little bit. Okay? But yeah, honestly, I don't think there's a reason to redraw the fib fan quite yet. And this will give us a better right here. You can see right here, it kind of just gapped through all of this. So you're going to have another resistance test around like 362 or so, okay? I would say, Joseph, to actually watch closely around the 360 mark. Watch out for a red day around 360 and go from there, okay? Maybe take some profits then, and then see if it keeps riding to 4. And if not, you can always reload on the dip and ride it back up, because this stock's going to keep going up. It's just a matter of what your swings are and, you know, if you want to play the cycles of it or not, okay? Yeah, no problem, Eric. Absolutely, dude. Dude, glad you tuned in too, Joseph. And yeah, and Joseph, if you're not in the Discord, dude, by all means join up. It's free and everything. And we have a whole room just for XXII. We have catalyst rooms, bio rooms, everything. Okay? So yeah, just keep an eye out for around the 360s for some retracement, okay? All right. Now, our next chart here is FLXN. And if any of you have been, what's up? Is it Yisrael? Yisrael? Hopefully I'm saying that right. Welcome, man. So, if any of you guys know, this one had FDA approval on Friday around 3:15 in the afternoon. It was halted before that. And then the approval went through, and there was a ton of profit taking, and then it started climbing back up, and it started climbing back up in after hours as well. Hey, Yisrael, if you want to join the group, the Discord group is below the YouTube video in the description, right after the PayPal link. You should see a little discord.gg link down there. So again, it got FDA approval, but the chart itself, even without FDA approval, was relatively strong. We started our fib fan way back here in, no problem, you got it, man. We started our fib fan way back here in March of last year. And since then, it's been cycling really well around the trend, okay? And if we zoom in, you can see here this last daily candle, that was our FDA approval. Now, I don't know if many of you follow FDA approvals, but a lot of times they can go easily 100% on an FDA approval. And I'd say very easily at least 30 to 50%, right? Now, it started that climb, but it had a bit of profit taking immediately, and the news hasn't had time to settle or actually run through the stock. So I honestly think this has another couple days, maybe 3 or 4 days in it of running. Nunchucks, my price target on this at minimum is 35, but I'm personally going to try to play it to 45 plus. Now, it's not a guarantee it's going to happen, but just stocks that get FDA approvals really run hard. And like I said, this one only had 30 minutes before the end of the day on Friday for that news to set in and people to find it. So it's going to be a whole week with that FDA approval under its belt for people to jump in and play it. I think it's going to dip in the morning, and then it's going to run extremely hard at least until Wednesday. And I mean, even like I said, just on the chart alone, since March of last year, it's been on a steady climb, okay? So, you know, you have chart strength behind it. Our indicators right here, the MACD is flipping up hard. Stochastic momentum is flipping up hard. It's following the trend line just fine. It's beat it. And it's time to continue the run, okay? And if we pull up the Ichimoku, again, even on the Ichimoku is just fine, okay? Our conversion line is headed away from the red. It's jumped up. We're well above the support cloud. And even with all that profit taking, it was a higher day than Thursday, okay? So I don't see anything wrong with the chart, even without FDA approval. But the FDA approval guarantees us at least 30%, in my opinion. So I'm not going to tell you what to play it to, but I'm playing 35 to 45, no problem. And if I see 45, I'm going to try to run it to like 70% or something like that. How much will it drop in pre-market or in the morning? That's really difficult to say, Nunchucks. That's a really good question. Because it had a ton of sell-off when the news happened. So I'm kind of wondering if the profit taking is already done. You know what I mean? Because if we zoom in even more, okay, let's take away the Ichimoku. Oops. Okay, so let's go back to the let's make sure we're on the 8th here. Or no, not the 8th, I'm sorry. The 6th, yes. Okay. So if you look at the 6th here, in the morning it was kind of high, right? And then it was dipping. And this dipping was because people thought the FDA news was going to come out in the morning, okay? And it didn't. And instead it got halted here. News came out, and you had a huge spike, which is what you want to see. But what happened was, when that huge spike happened, all those people that were waiting from down here and lower, they sold out really hard, okay? And then after that selling was done, we started to climb back up, and then continued to climb in after hours. And our very last candle in after hours was a solid green, and our MACD and everything started to turn up again. So honestly, I think most of the dip is already done, and at most we'll probably see it go down to like 29.50 or something like that, another dollar down. But I wouldn't bet too much on a huge dip. I think it's going to run extremely hard. We may get a lot of shorts in the morning that are going to try something shady like that, but it's a $30 stock, so it's already strong. It just got FDA approval, and it hasn't even had a chance to run yet. So again, I think I'm going to try to play it to like $45 myself, but it just depends on where it starts dying during the run. Can I go over how to use Discord at the end of the stream? Yeah, I mean, we can maybe talk a little bit about Discord. It's pretty simple though. There's a lot of better videos than what I'd be able to do, but we might be able to talk about it near the end. I don't have a ham radio, no. I'd like to have one though. But again, I'm going to try to run this to at least $45, take some profit there, and ride out the rest as high as I can. But I think at least until Wednesday, the stock is going to run really hard. And this is one of the few times ever on stream I'm going to say just buy it and see what happens. Set a type stop loss just in case, but if you can afford to buy this stock and watch it for 3 days, I highly suggest it. I really do. I wouldn't enter with all your money on open hamster, but you know, if it doesn't look like it's dipping during pre-market, if it's running in pre-market, you may want to, okay? Yeah, hamster, you'll know a lot more during pre-market. I'd say if you want to, wait, like 10 minutes after open. But this thing could go crazy in that 10 minutes if it doesn't get shorted and sold out like crazy. You know what I mean? So it'd be very easy to miss this one, but it's also very likely it could dip as well. It's gonna be a crazy, crazy day tomorrow for this. But yeah, I think it's gonna go parabolic. Because we actually in the Discord today, Mercury brought this one up. There's a stock called SRPT, okay? And here's what happened with SRPT, right? Their stock before FDA approval was $28, which is basically the same as ours, okay? And check out what happened the next couple days. It went from 28 all the way to 53, okay? Similar stock price, FDA approval, huge run, right? But you got to make sure to sell at the peak because it may not sustain like here. Now, granted, it's recovered most of it now, but there will be a sell-off at the peak of what people think it is, okay? What is the worst case on FLXN? Worst case, I don't even know what a worst case would be, man. I think the worst case might be that you buy it at 30, 40 and it dips to like 25 and you just have to wait a little bit longer. But I think no matter what, it's going to be above where it's at now. So worst case would be that you hold it too long and you miss selling it at the peak and you take less gains. That's pretty much the worst case in my opinion. But I think it's extremely strong. FDA approval at $30. Like, come on. You know, it hasn't even had time to run off that yet. The stock guy finally made his bed. That's really funny. Yeah, it's not made, it's just this corner. The rest of it's a freaking mess. Just what you guys can see. I didn't make my bed. That's funny. What do I mean by parabolic? I mean like in math, parabolic curve, like parabolic. Uh, like parabolic. It's gonna fucking meow, meow. It's gonna go parabolic. Does that make sense? As long as it looks good on screen, she said it's gonna be a good week. That's funny. I don't deal with buyout rumors, Benjamin. So I couldn't tell you. And yeah, I'm hiding my waifu pillow. It's in the closet where she belongs. But yeah, I don't have a price target based on a buyout, man. I don't deal with buyout rumors. I think it's a waste of time. Sorry. But I'm just playing on the knowledge that we have of the FDA approval, okay, man? But yeah, so honestly, like I said, if you see any dip in the morning, buy it and just ride it out at least until like Wednesday or something and see what happens, unless you see it really start crashing, okay? All right. Now let's go up to SYN. And SYN, we're basically saying in the Discord, if there's no PR on Monday, screw it. It's been on a decline for quite a few days. It peaked out at $1.05, and we're now at 89, okay? And it showed no sign of going back up on the indicators, the chart. It's broken this middle fib. It broke this fib. It rejected this one. So, I mean, you very well could be looking at like 85 cents tomorrow without news, okay? So, yeah, x to the second would be parabolic, yes. So yeah, if this one doesn't have news tomorrow, I wouldn't worry about it because it's probably going to keep going down based on all the indicators and everything. It's been technically on an uptrend this whole time. It's just that it's breaking so hard that if it breaks this bottom one right here around 87 to 85 cents and goes down, you know, there's no telling if this is the end of the run, okay? How do you find me on Stocktwits? You'll find me 99% of the time in the Discord, Joseph. But I don't really go on Stocktwits that much anymore. But if you do, that's my name on Stocktwits. I have no idea why SRPT tanked, man. I couldn't tell you. I was just told about that stock today because it was similar in terms of the FDA approval price. D-Town is right. Dallas is right. So again, if this doesn't get news on Monday, dump it. Unless you just really want to hold it and wait it out. But it's just been on a downtrend since the 19th, so over half a month it's been on a downtrend. So, and the MACD is still, yeah, it's all just going down, okay? It sucks because it should have a ton in the pipeline and everything should be good. It hasn't done anything. And again, if you look at our conversion line, it's heading straight down, okay? And that conversion line is probably going to go down, cross the red, and we're going to be going somewhere down in support, okay? So yeah, look for this one. Look for news on Monday for SYN, but otherwise, just forget about it for a while, okay? All right, now let's do CLSN. I forgot what the deal was with CLSN. Okay, they have a conference on the 12th of October. So that's going to be on Thursday of this week. They have a conference, guys. Now, they had a huge spike on the 3rd, and it's been retesting pretty hard. But it may have found its bottom here, because if you look at the conversion and baseline, how they're just stagnant and staying. So it may have found its bottom, but it very well may go back down to 217 or so. No problem, Joseph. It may go back down to 217 or so based on this cloud down here. And it did broke. We had a line here at 346, and it broke that pretty hard, almost by 10 cents, okay? So on this one, maybe see what the conference news is and see if it's worth holding, because in terms of just the chart, it's not something you want to be a part of. It's a pretty downward mess for a whole year, and it just now got this pop, okay? So it's one that I wouldn't buy based on the chart, but what you can do, like I said, is try to play that conference news on the 12th and see how that goes. And again, though, your MACD has bottomed out, and this is at pretty low, so they could flip up at any time. I just don't know what the bottom is, and our support cloud isn't until 218. That's a pretty far drop. You know what I'm saying? Okay. That's pretty much it for CLSN. I don't think I need to do any fibs or anything crazy on it, to be honest with you. Just play it for that news on the 12th. Yeah. I mean, the MACD, like I said, is starting to reverse, just not very strongly. So it very well just could be stagnant here until that news. But I don't want to recommend buying it until you see what the news is, okay? Are you still riding an uptrend on SRPT? I believe so. Yeah, you're good. It's probably going to level out, but you're on an uptrend on SRPT, man. It's a good stock. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of retested the bottom here twice, though, so keep an eye out on it. Keep an eye out for a dip starting. But if you bounce off 50, 60 and keep going back up, you should be just fine. Okay? But yeah, it's pretty much on an uptrend, dude. I don't think you should have any issues. Not in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, it may just go a little sideways for a little bit. But as long as it's not dipping below $50, I think you're all right. Okay? Hey, no problem, co-trade. Absolutely, dude. That's what I love to do. I love helping you guys out. All right, so Muzak and other people observe and stuff. Let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and start part 2 now. I'll do a break after like the first little section of it. So let's get that says Pat 2. So let's get some charts for part 2 then. I want good charts, guys. We got IGC. What do we say? CTRV. MTBC. ATOS. We've seen ATOS before, but we can do it. IPI. I don't think I've seen IPI. And TGTX. Okay, we'll start with these ones, guys. We'll start with these ones and go from there. Okay. Let me just really quickly just update the Update the Stocktwits post. Let me just post this really quick. Alrighty. So, again, what we like to do, though we're starting out in part 2, is we have these charts. Now, does anybody have... Let's see here. This one's kind of weird. Does anybody have any questions on something they want to know about charts? Like an indicator, a method I use that you don't understand, or anything like that? I'm going to say also, I don't like this chart, IGC. I mean, yeah, it's on an uptrend now and stuff. I just don't like that it's so reliant on volume for moves. And when these volume spikes are still not even over 1 million. Yeah, I don't like this one. We're going to do a different chart. I'm not going to recommend IGC. Okay, CTRV. Where do I predict SYN in the next few days? We just talked about SYN, Mike. And unless that news happens on Monday of SYN, I think it's just going to keep going down. You don't have a lot of the studies I use. Well, you got to switch brokers then, man. Okay, so nobody has any educational type questions, like an indicator I use or anything like that? All right, well then we'll just continue on then with these chart requests. What studies would I use in their place? I wouldn't replace the studies I use, to be honest with you. I like the studies I use. I would find a way to use them. Just go to like tradingcharts.com or whatever it is. You can, or whatever it's called. There's a website that you can use them. Okay, question about how I chart. It looks like there's a ton of tools on your software, but I use the same couple tools all of the time. Why do I use those specific tools? That's a good question. The reason I use the ones I use is because I'm comfortable with them. I've seen them over a ton of charts. I know how they react over time. I can use them to predict things better than a lot of indicators that I've used. And honestly, once I get comfortable with something, I like to just keep using it. And some of them are just so common and basic, they're what you use. Like, you should use MACD. Absolutely, you should use MACD. You should use stochastic momentum, in my opinion, but also use it with the Chand. You should use regular stochastics, you know? You should use a simple moving average. Okay, so there's reasons that the common ones are the common ones. You know what I'm saying? And it's just because they work. They're tested, they're tried and true. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm a little weird. Not a lot of people use the Elder Ray. Not a whole lot of people use fibs. Not a whole lot of people use Chand and stochastic momentum. But stochastic, RSI, MACD, you should be using those, okay? CoTrade asked, I'm in a foreign country and I have no charts or advanced studies. Do I recommend anything that is cheap for beginning in terms of platform? Okay. What you can use is there's a website you can chart on. I think it's... what is the website? hold on. Yeah, I think it's, here we go. This one I think is relatively cheap, if not free for a while. Stockcharts.com. And try that one out. Okay. Yeah, there's FinViz as well. There's also a lot of people use this one. A lot of people use this one right here called tradingview.com. Okay, there's a lot of them. There's also freestockcharts.com. Okay. So there's plenty of websites you can do it on. You don't need to have a broker to chart, okay? You're welcome, Drew. Absolutely. All right. So with CTRV though, I kind of want to have just give this guy a second of time and check out the chart here. Now, if you're new to charting, what you're gonna want to try, what I would initially do if you're brand new to charting, you don't ever do it, is pull up your volume, pull up your MACD, pull up your RSI, and pull up your stochastic, okay? Can I discuss the 20 DMA, 50 DMA, and 200 DMA? Yeah, we might be able to get to that. All right, so yeah, if you're new, here's what I would pull up. Volume, MACD, RSI, and stochastic. These are like your four, like most basic, everybody should know how to read this, everybody should know how to use it, and what to do with it, okay? So we went over MACD before. It's a fast and slow line, and those crosses indicate buys and sells, okay? Now, what you're going to look for is price change based on volume. You want to make sure you have a stock that has pretty steady volume. And this one right here, as you can see, it has huge spikes of volume, but when it doesn't have it, it doesn't really have anything, right? Comparatively. And these huge spikes in volume are causing huge spikes in price. So it looks very pump and dumpy, right? It has a lot of interest for a little bit, and then everybody gets out. That's a really easy way to see pump and dump, okay? And as you can see, when it doesn't have those volume days, it just stays flat, right? And again, volume spike, price spike, huge volume spike, price spike. But look what's happening again. It's doing the exact same thing. It had all the momentum, but your volume is completely dead again. And where's your stock price going? Completely down, even with a huge gap down right here. Okay? So your volume, just your volume in the chart can tell you a lot. Okay? What are the volume segments? 15, 30. The volume segments depend on what your chart is at. Okay? So we're at a 30-minute chart. So this is 30-minute segments. Okay? Look at the yearly. Okay, the yearly looks even worse. Okay? The stock does not look like fun to me. Okay? So when we're on the yearly, you see how it goes daily up here on the top left? These are daily volume segments, all right? So again, this one looks very pump and dumpy. There's no volume except for random days, okay? And just spike, dump, spike, dump. You know what I mean? Spike, and it's going to dump even more. You can just tell already. Okay, so that's what the volume can tell you. And then your MACD can tell you a lot too. See how it's just been riding below here and it can't get any momentum to cross this zero line? And then when it does cross the zero line, it had a huge spike and it's already tapering off. All right. And when the MACD is tapering off and heading back down, price movement is going to follow it 9.9 times out of 10. Okay. So your MACD can tell you a lot. Your RSI is something else you should know. If your RSI is below this 20 line here, it's oversold. And if it's above the 80 line, it's overbought. So you can use that to tell which direction it's going, whether it's being bought or sold. And you can tell when it's been sold too much or when it's been bought too much, and the trend is going to probably change. So as you can see, this one here approached overbought, and now it's declining back down. So you're not going to want to buy it on this downward pressure. You're going to want to wait till it settles and starts to curve back up, okay? And then you use your stochastic in pretty much the same way. It's overbought above 80, and it's oversold below 20, right? So technically your buy signal would be here when the white crosses over the red and it's below 20, and it heads back up. But do you see here how it crossed again and the price went down, right? White crossed over red and the price went up. Okay. White crossed over red and the price went up again. But as you can see, they just crossed, so it's going to go back down. Okay. So that's really quick on those 4 basic indicators, but you need to learn those. You need to learn your MACD. You need to learn your stochastic. You need to learn your RSI. Okay. And you need to learn your volume. Now, those aren't the ones I always use, but when you're starting, you need to learn those, okay? All right. And yeah, basic is the best, especially when you're starting out, okay? All right, I'm glad that helps, JCog. That's awesome. Okay, and then what we have here is a 50 SMA. So that's a 50 period simple moving average. And what the 50 SMA is really good at doing is giving you just kind of a strength of where it is. When it's riding below it, that means it's kind of weak. And when it's riding above it, it means it's really strong. And as you can see, it just spikes above it for a little bit and gets dumped. So this is not a very strong stock, okay? All right, what was after CTRV? Oh, MTBC. Okay. All right. Now, is there an indicator or something somebody would like to see on this one? Or a question that we can apply to a chart to help everybody out? I definitely don't mind. We can go over a new indicator. We can refresh an old one. You know, we can, if you want me to draw fibs, I can do that. What would be, what are something on charts that you guys, you know, that you're wanting to learn or trying to learn that would be helpful to see? Momentum, fib fan. All right, so I got 2 for fib, so we'll probably start with that, and we can do another small Ichimoku lesson again tonight. We can do that. And Ko asked, am I saying that basic is good when starting just because you realize that layering as many indicators will give you more edge? Basic is good because they're basic for a reason. They are tried and true. A lot of people use them, so a lot of reactions will happen because of those, okay? Like, the reason that those indicators partially work as well is because if you have millions of people using the same indicator and that buy or sell signal happens on that indicator, a lot of people are going to react to that same indicator. You get what I'm saying? But it's not just that, it's that they're really good at doing their job. Okay? There's a reason that they're the first ones you learn. It's because a lot of people can just stick with them and be just fine. You know what I'm saying? But yes, stack as many as you can, Co. Use as many indicators as possible at all times. All right? Tree, we need to take a pee break. Is that what you're saying? All right. Well, we can do that. We can, this one's not going to be very fun to chart. I don't like MTBC. There's no way to tell what that's going to do. I'm sorry. We need to do a better one to do our lessons. Yeah, we can use ATOS though, I guess. But you can tell what I'm going to say, right? I've used the Chaikin Money Flow before. We can go a little bit over that. So here, let me make a list here of what's going on. We'll do FibFan. Chaikin Money. And a few of you said Ichimoku again. Okay. K and D periods. Yeah, AMD would be good. Yeah, because this isn't. We don't want to do this one. And by the way, on ATOS, wait for more of an uptrend first, okay? It's gotta. We've done this one before. It's gotta retest this gap and break it, okay, man? IPI. There we go. We can chart IPI. We'll do IPI next, after the break, and then we can do AMD or something after that, okay? And yeah, black box has been really popular. Observe. But honestly, I find most of my picks just by looking just everywhere, man. Our Discord is basically like, our Discord is God tier. Like, if you're not in the Discord, I can't explain to you how much you're missing out. Like, it sounds like I'm just promoting this, but I don't gain anything from you in the Discord. You're the only person that gains from being in the Discord. We have real medical professionals, we have lawyers, we have people that do charts, we have researchers. Like, I just highly, highly recommend it because your pick will get looked at. We have rooms for picks. We have everything. Yeah, we got it all. Seriously. So I highly recommend joining the Discord and the link there. I really, really do. Nobody that has joined has left, basically. Like, seriously, I don't think anybody's left. We're at almost like 300 people now. Nobody leaves. It's crazy. Okay? So yeah, we'll take a short couple minute break here, though, like you guys wanted. And we'll come back and we'll go from there, okay? Let me change the text up here, just so people can see that. All right, and yeah. So I think it's a good time to go take a short break. I don't see anything wrong with that. And then we'll come back, do this chart, do AMD and a few others, and do some more lessons, guys. All right. So if you don't mind, though, I'm going to go ahead and play an ad, though, because I really need money. So I'm going to go ahead and get an ad done, and then I'll be right back in just like a couple minutes, and we'll continue on. And again, if you want to donate, you can. You don't have to, but the PayPal link is right there. Completely up to you. This stream is always free, and the Discord is always free. So join if you're not in, okay? Alright guys, what's up? Thank you all for still being here, everybody that's still here. Sorry about the break. And Astro and Ray, thank you so much for your donations, guys. I really appreciate that. I really do. Again, if you guys want to donate, you don't have to, but you can. PayPal links in the description. And that's also where you'll find the Discord. But it looks like a lot of you did find the Discord. We got a ton of new faces in there. Okay? And Muzak, I saw your message in Discord just now. I'll have to take a look at that later. But I'll take a look, okay? Alright. So hopefully everybody got a chance to go to the bathroom. Hopefully everybody has some wine. And we can continue now. Okay? So somebody asked about the Chaikin Money Flow. So we'll do like we did the other night and just pull up a quick definition of it. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so here's the Chaikin Money Flow. The Chaikin Money Flow measures the amount of money flow volume over a specific period. Money flow volume forms the basis for the accumulation distribution line. Instead of a cumulative total of money flow volume, Chaikin Money Flow simply sums money flow volume for a specific look-back period, typically 20 or 21 days. The resulting indicator fluctuates above or below the zero line, just like an oscillator, and chartists weigh the balance of buying or selling pressure with the absolute level of Chaikin money flow. Chartists can also look for crosses above or below the zero line to identify changes in the money flow. Okay? So we don't need to go over exactly how to calculate it. Alright? But here's what we need is the interpretation, right? So it's an oscillator that fluctuates between -1 and +1, and rarely, if ever, will it reach those extremes. Okay? It would take 20 consecutive closes on the high to get to there. Okay? Typically, this oscillator fluctuates between 0.5 and 0.5, or as a center line. Okay? So as you can see, if it closes near the high, the oscillator is near the bottom, and if it closes near the low, it's heading back up, right? So it measures buying and selling pressure. A move in a positive territory indicates buying pressure. So above the zero line is buying pressure. And if it moves into the negative territory, that's selling pressure, right? So that's basically really all you need to know about the Chaikin, okay? Buying pressure is stronger when the indicator is positive, and selling pressure is stronger when the indicator is negative, okay? That's pretty much it. It's relatively easy to understand. So if we go and we pull it up on here, you can see how it correlates to the chart, right? So it's, say right here at the peak. Remember it said it generally oscillates between 0.5 and 0.5, so mine actually only goes to those values, okay? You may have your chart go to the higher values, but mine does the 0.5 and 0.5, okay? So it's really easy to follow the chart and the Chaikin. As you can see here, is reaching its peak at -0.5, so that means it's pretty much overbought. And you can see how the money flow started going down along with the price. And when it reaches bottom here, it started heading back up into a small peak. And if you follow it longer, it reached another peak here. And so your good selling point is when it changes right there, okay? And again, you can see it. It just follows along nicely. Now, the thing that you got to be careful though with the Chaikin Money Flow is it can give you some false positive buy and sell signals. Because it's a little choppy. It changes quite a bit. And so sometimes you'll get a buy signal when there isn't a reason for it. So you can actually see it right here. You see how the money flow started going back up, but the price didn't. It was actually going down. It was deviating away from it. And then bam, you had a little peak with a huge sell-off, okay? And again, it looks like right here, you see how the money flow is getting really big, but the price is barely changing, okay? So, and again, huge dip here in it as well, and the price didn't change. So the Chaikin is good at seeing when money is coming in and out, but you're definitely not going to want to use it by itself. And you're definitely going to want something a little smoother like a stochastic momentum to give you a better idea, okay? You're not going to want to use the money flow by itself. Because again, if you look here at the stochastic, you see how it was a buy signal, it headed up here. But your sell signal happened right here as your money flow is still going up, okay? You're going to want to use something more stable like a stochastic or something like that with it. Because even if you look right here, you see this spike right here? Look what the money flow was doing. It was headed way down and had that spike there, but that spike ended before the price spike, okay? So it's really the reason I don't use it that often is because there's way better indicators to tell you what's going on, in my opinion. Because even look here, you see how this is just steady down. There's not as much money in it, but look at the price. The price is going up, okay? So it's not bad, it's just you need to use it with something else, okay? And in terms of this chart, I think that this chart is pretty strong. It's been going up since March 16th. And it seems to just now be crashing really hard though. So I don't know if some bad news or something happened. But the chart looked very good up until the last 3 days here. Okay? So next was the Ichimoku. But I think more people asked for the fibs. So should we go over the fibs next, guys? Or the Ichimoku? What do you think? And yeah, so somebody was asking again about CLSN. Yeah, basically, we don't know what's going to happen with CLSN, okay? You're going to have to see when PR is coming, and you're going to have to see, you're just going to have to see what's coming down their pipeline in terms of news, because the chart itself is crap, all right? Huge gap down, and then peaks and sell-offs, huge peak sell-off. So it's just, it's a crap chart. It's all going to be reliant on PR, okay? You're hoping for a nice bounce Monday on this? All right. Well, in the chart, there's no way to really tell yet, but maybe when we do the fibs and the Ichimoku, it'll let us know. So let's go ahead and do a fib fan, and we'll follow it up with the Ichimoku then. Okay. So the question, I think, what was the question for the fib fans? It's like, where do I start it? Is that what the question was? I forgot what the exact question was for the fibs. We're looking at IPI right now. Yeah, I'm just curious what the fib question is. Or do I need to go over the whole thing, or? Okay. All right, so basically what I do when I'm looking to do a fib is I'm going to zoom out. Like let's go to the 3-year. And what I want to do is look for when the most recent trend change was. And I want to find that trend change and I want to chart that, okay? So if you look, we had a downward trend from about here all the way to pretty much right here, okay? This has been pretty much down the whole time, and then it leveled off. So you could do it over here, or you could do it to where it leveled off, okay? And what we're looking for, though, because we care about right now, is the new change. But what this past one is good for is you can see points where it should break and continue up, okay? And really, I should have taken this down to here. All right. So as you can see on these fibs, they had little bounce, a test, rejection, a test, and a breakthrough, okay? But it's essentially on a new trend because it's completely out of the fib zone, okay? Mic check. Oh, my mic's working. Yeah, mic's working. Okay. All right. So we're out of this downward trend, in my opinion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in to our uptrend, and I'm going to decide where I want to start the fan, okay? So basically, this spot looks like the lowest dip, right? And a good way to decide is pull up your MACD, pull up your stochastic momentum, and on both of these, look for a buy or sell signal that made the trend change. So since we are on a positive trend, we're going to look for a buy signal, in my opinion. So we go to the MACD. We had a buy signal right here on the 11th, and a buy signal on the 14th on the stochastic momentum. So we can pick pretty much either one of those at this dip. So I'm going to go ahead and use the MACD. I want to pick that candle to start my fib fan. And I'm going to write it out to the current peak that we're on. Okay? And now what you can do is you can take it to another sell signal in the MACD or stochastic, or you can take it to a peak, or do pretty much whatever you want to do. It's however you want to chart, okay? And honestly, what I will do is you see this sell signal in the MACD on the 4th? That's actually where we stopped. If you look at this vertical line here, sell signal here, that was the peak. So it's following that sell signal perfectly, all right? And then this is where you start to interpret your fib fan. Okay, we had a huge unnatural peak, and it leveled off, right? Once it got in there, it bounced off the middle. It tried to test out, and it couldn't do it. It went back down, tried to hold the trend, and it couldn't do it. We had a red candle through. It tried to bust out again to this one, and it couldn't hold it. So it died, right? That was like 3 different tests that it failed, and it died. And then when it came back, it consolidated in this zone forever. And then when you finally got a green candle through the fib, it went up and consolidated on this zone. It tried to test out. It failed and went back down to the lower zone. Had a couple candles up, then it went back to this zone. And now we're working with this area. Okay? Hopefully you guys can see that. So the concern comes in when we have a sell signal here on the MACD. We have a sell signal on the stochastic momentum. The price is following the sell signal. And we have a very, very clear rejection off this line, just like we did back here. Okay? So now what we're going to be looking for in the future is we're going to be looking for it to go and test down here on this fib zone. All right? And that's how you can use those zones as very good sell spots, as buy spots, etc., is when you know the ranges that it's going to test. So we know that it likes this zone right now, right? So it most likely will test somewhere down on this line, maybe around 334 or so. And I definitely think that it will, all right? And then you're not going to only use a fib fan. You're not going to only use your indicators here. You're going to have to add some other things as well. So whether you want to use a moving average, whether you want to use the Chaikin Money Flow, whether you want to use the parabolic SAR like we looked at the other night, I'll just actually bring that back just because we looked at it last stream. Okay, so you want to use something like that, which as you can see, it just got its sell signals, all right? So you want to use more than just the fibs, but what you can do is you can use the other fib, our basic Fibonacci, okay? Basic fib, you take from the highest peak and you go to the lowest valley. Okay? And that gives you more lines to look at. So if we take this fib fan away now, what you can see is more lines that it tests and tries to break. So you see how this peak bounced off it perfectly? This peak couldn't quite hold it. Consolidated on the line right here. Finally broke through the middle, but it bounced back down to the top line. Rode its way up and bounced off the top line. And again, we have our line around 325 for the same thing. Okay. What's up, Justin? Welcome in, man. Do I like the fib fan over fib extensions? I don't know what a fib extension is off the top of my head. I'm sorry, Chad. I can't recall fib extensions, to be honest with you. But I do also like the fib arc. Okay. So fib arcs you're going to take from, like, let's say we take it from this sell signal here, and we'll just drag it over. And this will give us even more information, okay? You can see how it tested the arc. Couldn't make it. Tested the arc and finally broke through. Tested the top of this one, didn't quite make it, but then it gapped through. Consolidated in this zone a little bit. Gapped through. And as you can see, it crashed through. It stopped on this one. Crashed through, kind of stopped on this one, but our candle is below it. So that indicates that it's most likely going to continue a negative trend. And the next line at this 100% is around 347 or so, okay? CLSN, I would get rid of it. We did RPRX last stream, but I can take a look at VCPS really quick, see what's going on with that. How accurate are these methods? Well, nunchucks, dude. Have you noticed that every time that we've done a fib, like it just hits the fibs? They're super accurate, especially depending on how you chart it. And what the hell is this? No. Whoever said VCPS, just no. No. RPRX I'll look at. Yeah, I remember this one too. No. Neither of these. Oh, extensions and retracements? Yeah, so you mean just going into the future with it. But yeah, these two charts, no. No. Alright, so I'll show you guys something I've done that I don't really show people. I kind of keep it to myself if you want with those fibs. It's up to you. If you guys want to see more fibs and see one method I use, I'll show you, but if not, we can move on. Alright, Justin wants to see it. Okay. Alright, so this one, obviously what I would do, this isn't part of the method I'm going to show you, but, you know, I would take one of these, right? I take like this buy signal here, and I would trace it up, you know, to like that peak there. Okay. So it's pretty nicely strongly in this zone, right? But for this method, it's more of a short-term type thing. And I use it for casting more in the future. I haven't done this in a while, actually. Let's see if I can remember this. So basically what I would do, I would take a fib fan. I'd go from the bottom here up to my peak. Excuse me. If I can get it to stop at the peak. There we go. And then there's no real basis for this other than I've seen it and I like it. So what I would do is I take that fib fan, and whatever that period is, I would do a perfectly matched side on the other side, okay? So take the vertical tool here. We mark the day we started it, so that's May 3rd, right? And we went to July 26th, okay? So what we would do is do an equally matched out segment of that. So let me get my segment tool here. We'll start here on the 3rd, go out to there. So that's 59 bars, okay? So we're going to go here and go right and find out where 59 bars is. That's going to be the 18th of October, okay? So just remember the 18th of October. And what we're going to do is get our fib fan back out. And we're going to start here. And we're going to go all the way down. And we're going to stop it at the 18th of October on the line. Okay? Now what this does, it gives us a perfect equilateral triangle. Okay? So even though there's no data here, I didn't use anything on this side of the chart to make it, I just went equilateral, it still works. Check it. Look where that line is, right through that break. Look where these are, right inside there. Look where this test was, right on the middle. Look where that test was, right on the line. Look where it broke through. Okay? And it's testing right here in this zone. We didn't do anything with this side of the chart except for match the angle completely inversed on this side. That's all we did. But it still fits the trend. And it's still testing in these zones. That should blow your mind. It blew my mind. I just made it up one day and it just works. And you can even add on to that. We're not worthy. That's funny. So you can even add on to that. And I'd like to double it up. We take our fib arc, go up to there, Okay? We take this fib arc and we go to the same spot. And now this is where it looks like a hot mess, but when you know what you're looking at, it doesn't look so scary, right? So if we go into here, tested the zone here, tested the zone here, was inside the circle, tested down here and bounced up, went up here and broke through the trend back into this zone, went down here, broke the circle right here, and went back down and tested to the bottom of that arc and bounced up. Stayed within inside this arc zone, couldn't beat it, tested back down, went through the circle into this circle, rode along the top, popped back in, and now we're in this zone. Okay? So even though it looks like a hot mess, Illuminati confirmed, okay? Like, it's just there. Alright? I'll make it easier to see by deleting that side, okay? So remember, we took the angle from the left, and we're just using the right side now. And you see how clear this is on these tests, right? You can see that it follows these trends. And so now, not only do you have your fib fan blade zones to look at, you have your fib arc based on the same angle to give you more information. So as you can see, it's writing down on here, and so you know that by time it reaches right here on the 11th of October, if it's still going down, that is your new spot for it to test. And you need to pay attention on the 12th of October. Is it going to keep going down, or is it going to reject up and stay in this zone? How did I figure it out? I don't remember. I don't really know, man. It was like, I just figured that the Fibonacci is based on the nature, and nature likes symmetry. So why would a perfectly symmetrical angle not work? You know what I mean? So I just figured if we're basing it on a Fibonacci sequence anyway, why not match that completely the opposite side? And we'll do it again on another chart, so you guys can see it some more. But that's pretty cool, though, wasn't it? Isn't that pretty cool? I don't know. I thought that was. I don't know. I think that stuff's awesome. But I mean, it just goes to show you that. I mean, nobody else is doing that. You know what I mean? Nobody else is trying that. You can use fibs however you want. Okay? You don't have to only listen to that dude that says one thing. You know what I mean? You can find your own methods. Okay? There's always a new way to chart. You don't have to do it what everybody else says. Awesome. I'm glad you guys liked it. I've never used Thinkorswim, Justin, so I don't know, man. A lot of people use it, though. All right. Do we have another chart that people want to see real quick? Yes, I am, Justin. I am Jesus reincarnated. ARDX? Okay. All right. So we looked at ARDX before. Remember I said, don't buy it unless it's beating this line. Okay? The summary for AMD. My summary for AMD is, watch it, until the 12th and see if it bounces up off of that fib. See if it bounces up off $13. Because I think it's going to go back down to 13, and then that's your test to see whether it keeps going down or not. Okay? But you can see 13 is perfectly on both of those lines. Okay? ARDX, don't buy it until it's beating that gap, okay? And you still have questions on stochastic and MACD? Okay. BSTG? Holy shit. Don't buy it. Don't buy BSTG. Look at this. It completely broke our 100% line. Don't buy BSTG. ARDX, that's your only play, is hoping on FDA news. You can't use a chart for ARDX. You're going to have to play PR. Okay. Now see, this one looks better. We can work with UCTT. And then remind me about ETRM, okay? Muzak, use the default numbers. Whenever you click on stochastic and it makes it for you, just use whatever those numbers are. Okay. Well, let's look at UCTT really quick, and then we'll get to those ones, okay, guys? Okay. I'm not going to be able to keep track of all those. I don't think Candy is here either, so I don't know if anybody's writing those charts down or not, so. Well, Muzak, just look up the basic numbers on Google or reset your thing, okay? All right. So this one here, very strong uptrend. I don't see anything wrong with the long-term hold. You have sell signals coming up and happening here though, so it's probably going to dip a little bit first, but this trend is definitely strong. You guys want to see if the fib trick works? Oh, no problem at all, Justin. I'm surprised Candy's not here. Discord's going crazy. Okay. Well, let's try really quickly then on this really quick and see what happens, okay? So we'll do our same thing. We're going to pick this buy signal point on the stochastic momentum on this dip. We're going to do our fan up to the peak. Okay. We'll pull out our vertical tool. Go from the July 3rd to October 3rd. Okay. Get out your segment tool. Find out how many bars it is. So that's going to be 65 bars. So we're going to start on here. Go out 65 bars. Mark it. So that's July 9th of next year. Take our fib fan back out. Start at the same peak. Go out to July, what was it? Yeah, July 9th. Put it right on the bottom where that is. Okay. And you can get rid of that now. And what we're hoping to see, We get our fib arc now. Put our fib arc up like this. Okay. Now see on this one, we may have done too short of a trend because we don't have a lot of future data going on yet. But as you can see, it's already starting this downtrend away from here. So that's not looking that good, especially with the sell signals coming on. And if you also look at this fan right here, it's so far above that it's probably going to want to retest down in this zone. Okay? So what I would be looking for, honestly, I would look for it to be going down and testing around $28 and a bounce up from there, because that's going to retrace a lot of this gap, okay? I'll show you again, Justin. I'll show you again. Okay, but this one, I would wait a little bit and just see how far this dip goes and make sure it bounces off around 28.30 and goes from there, okay? And yeah, this was like January 9th. Okay. I don't remember what was after UCTT. I see MSTX though. Hold on a second, guys. Oh, okay, JCog, what's on your list for the next one? Don't buy ETRM. Okay, yeah, don't buy ETRM. Just don't. TA is the next one. Thanks, JCog. Okay, this one has been on a downtrend since 2015, and it's just now starting to go up. So, not super confident it's building, but we can see, we can show you guys the inverse of what we were doing. So if you take that fib fan from, let's take it from this gap down here, go to our valley, okay, take the segment tool and map out how long that was. Which is 80 bars, okay? So you take from here, you go 80 bars out, which is December 22nd, okay? Then you're gonna get your fib fan back out, and you're gonna go from the same spot down here up to the line on the 22nd, okay? And as you can see, it works pretty well again, right? An unnatural peak, tested in this zone, broke down below, broke through that zone, and it's been flying up since, okay? And again, you can take your fib arc and do the same thing. Start up here, drag it down to the valley, start here, down there, and drag it up to the top. Okay. And this gives us the information that we were missing. Okay. See right here, rode the arc, went back down in the zone and followed that other arc, sliced through, stuck in this zone for a little bit, but the fib fan gave us that information. Busted through the arc, bounced up the fib fan and tried to test back out of the arc, but it couldn't. So it rode along the fib fan, and then it jumped back through both of these, but then it rode along the arc. Okay. And now right here, it tested the middle trend, busted through, hit the top of this arc line and couldn't make it. Back down to the fib line, tested in this zone, broke through, tested here, broke through, and now we're near the top of this fib arc area. We completely bypassed this zone, and we're up in here now. So really, you are in uncharted territory on this one, in my opinion, and there's no real way to tell when it's going to peak out and drop back down, okay? This one's a little bit outside of anything we're going to be able to do on the chart. But if I had to guess, I'd say you're probably going to ride this fib arc back down. I'd say you're probably near the top. But again, I don't know what the news is or anything like that. I don't know the PRs that are coming. Or, you know what I mean? So, sorry about that. So again, I don't know what the PR is or anything. I don't know what the catalysts are. But this is a very unnatural rise. You've busted through everything. So it's going to be time to retest at some point, okay? But yeah, just keep an eye out on the PRs and stuff, because this one is not really following the fib anymore. But again, doesn't that look cool? I just love how it looks when I do it. Looks so awesome. All right, what's after TA? Well, we already said don't do BSTQ. We already looked at ATOS. We looked at UCTT. We looked at ETRM. So VICL will be next then. Yeah, don't buy this one. I know that they're supposed to have catalyst or something soon, but you're completely reliant on the catalyst for VICL. I don't like VICL's chart. RGSE, I know we looked at. Don't buy RGSE. VRX. I charted VRX before. See, as you can see, I had this method done on VRX. And this is actually a really good thing to show you guys, because I did this one way long ago. I did this chart on August 24th. Okay? And look how well it still followed it since August 24th, right? It tested way below, but it rode along this arc here. Tested below that arc, and it stayed in this zone. Okay, tried to bust through the circle here, bust through the circle there, got stuck in the zone, tested down, went up to the circle here, stuck in the zone, tested the circle there, couldn't make it, back down, there. So again, I haven't touched this chart since August 24th, okay? And it's still working just fine. Okay, and as you can see, I also added in the normal Fibonacci. Okay, and as you can see, what's going on now, these horizontal lines, these 61.8, 50, and 38, it's just been testing between those. Okay, so now this is a time I would start to rechart it because it's been on a new trend, but it's just crazy how well fibs are followed. Okay, it's just crazy. But again, on this one, I would do a new trend because it has been on an uptrend since here. So I'd probably go ahead and do another fib fan trend. But again, the chart for the long time is not very good on this. Okay. So yeah, it's just kind of in the zone. So for VRX, make sure it bounces off 1430 and continues up. Okay. All right. So what was after VRX? MSTX. Wait, you said the symbol changed though. Why do you keep giving me the symbol that? And yeah, guys, you keep giving me charts that rely on catalyst. I'm not going to be able to chart it for you. If the chart's shit, there's nothing I can do about it. Okay? If it's been dead for 3 years and you're waiting on a catalyst, why are you asking me to chart it? There's nothing I can do about that. You know what I'm saying? Like this, do you think anywhere in this chart I would have said to buy it? Anywhere. Do you think if I would have pulled up this chart a month ago? You know what I mean? You can't give me charts like this and say, hey, what's it going to do with the PR? I don't fucking know what it's going to do with the PR. You gotta wait until the PR happens and you have movement again. Alright? There's nothing I can do about a flat chart. On this one, it seems to be leveling off at the peak that it had back here. And I'd say don't even touch it unless it breaks $10 again, okay? So if this one doesn't break $10 again, you're just going to probably scoot back down. You have a nice cup and handle forming, but you're in no man's land, okay? Because look where you were at, okay? There's no way to tell what's going to happen, all right? There's just no way to know. All right. But if you were going to chart this, if you're going to try, again, pick your buy signal on the MACD, use that as your bottom, go with your trend to a peak that makes sense to you, and try to chart it from there, okay? And you can see it's basically been consolidating and not riding any of the trend that it created back here. So most likely with this red candle, it's going to keep going sideways or down. You need to see it start to follow one of these trends before you can say it's a good buy. All right? Yeah, it's most likely going to follow this right here. Okay? So there's no way to tell on this one, okay? Okay, so we already did MSTX, CLSN. Let's look at iPhone now. Okay. And this one we've looked at before as well. And if you remember, when we looked at it before, I said it needs to break 40. It did the exact opposite of breaking 40. So just avoid this one for now, okay? You don't want any part of this. Huge gap ups, huge gap downs, another huge gap down, dying since there, and it's been pump and dumped, okay? And the reason you can tell it's a pump and dump is it's a spike and a death, a spike and a death, spike and a death. So a lot of stocks you're going to see on Stocktwits and stuff are going to be like this because they get a bunch of people hyped. They say, oh, they're going to have the most dank PR. Okay? Just trust me, man. That PR is going to be so good. And that stock's going to fly to, $1 million. Okay, everybody buy in. Okay, so he just wrangled in a ton of people. They all buy in. The stock goes up to the price that he wants to sell at. He sells it. The rest of the people start selling, and it's dead again until the next pump. Okay? That's why you buy stocks on uptrends. Okay? You buy things that are going positive. You don't buy things that are spiking and dying, and you don't buy things that are on a downtrend for 3 years. Okay? So when you see a stock chart like this, with all these gaps, death, and spikes, you want to avoid those. Okay? There's just no reason to put yourself in harm like that and just wait for that dank PR that's going to happen. Okay? If you're reliant solely on a PR to jump you 40 cents and it hasn't had any sort of support before that, don't buy it. Okay? Because you're just going to get suckered in and hold it back. All right? Have I ever been burned by a pump and chuck? Yeah, when I first started out. Before I knew how to read charts and L2 and stuff? Definitely. Okay. So ATHX. Okay. So this one is a little bit better. It's still not amazing, but it's a little bit better. All right. We've had a somewhat steady uptrend since there. The spikes are a little scary, but they're not as insane as the ones we've been seeing. But I'll tell you what's scary is all these gray candles. I bet you if we pull up the volume, yeah, look at the volume. It's just now coming back, but for a while it's been dead. So that's where all these gray candles are coming in, okay? But on this chart, your buy signals are starting to come back. Stochastic momentum looks good, okay? MACD is starting to curve back up, and it recovered very nicely from this huge dip. So it looks somewhat okay, all right? Now it's not beautiful, but it looks better than some of the ones we've been looking at, okay? And if you pull it up here, you can see very clear testings of these fib fans, okay? You can see it very easily. And you can see this dip down went to here, but it didn't break through. So odds are it will bounce and continue up a little bit tomorrow. There's no guarantee of that, but it's kind of looking healthy enough in that regard, okay? And if we pull back our fib arc, we'll go down to here. Actually, we'll go down to the very bottom. Okay. So yeah, that's what you're going to want to see. You see this huge death all the way through? You're going to want to see this here. Test and breakthrough, test and breakthrough. Okay? So the hope is it'll continue along this fib line until it gets to the edge of the circle and try to break out again. But there's no guarantee that it's not going to reach the edge of the circle and follow it back down, okay? You see how it followed the edge really nicely here as well? All right? So you can use these indicators to really find out where the tests happen, all right? But yes, Justin's right. FLXN is the one for Monday, okay? John, no. You chart an ETF just like you do a stock. There's nothing special to look out for really on an ETF versus a stock. Yeah, no problem, Dev. Absolutely, man. Most sub $5 stocks are pump and dumps. Lots of them do increase significantly, but there needs to be significant catalyst. Yeah, that's true. Well, I can say don't buy them because it's my opinion. I mean, yeah, always do your DD. Never buy something just on the chart. But I definitely can say don't buy it if I feel like it. That's my opinion, bro. I know what JNUG is. I don't play JNUG because I don't like playing gold. So yeah, look for this one. If it doesn't bounce off 240 and continue up, take your profits. Okay. But if you see it bounce pretty nicely off 240 and continue upward, I think you're all right. Okay. Yeah, Muzak. Yeah, that's it. I mean, you can't know without DD. Absolutely. You need to do your DD. And just know if you're buying into a chart that's been dying for 3 years and you're hoping on a DD, how many people holding that stock are doing the exact same thing? And as soon as the DD comes out or the PR comes out and it jumps, it's just going to be dumped because of how many people have been waiting. Okay? So you could have amazing PR, but if it hasn't been a steady stock first, people are going to hop out, you know? Nunchucks, I don't really play 3x ETFs. That's just, it's pretty much luck on those in my opinion. But does it work? Yeah, fibs always work. But yeah, I don't like JNUG. I think it just is too crazy. It's just not a risk I like to take. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's not really doing much. You're just gonna have to wait for a day that gold goes crazy. Okay? There's not really much you can do with JNUG on the chart. No, it's okay, Candy. I was making sure you're alright. Alright, see you later, Timothy. Thank you, JCog. Music said, defined buy signals, do I follow MACD most, or what do I use the most to get in? I gotta use everything, man. PR, MACD, stochastic momentum, Chand, fibs, everything. Okay. Do we have another chart that somebody wants to look at? What is decay on an ETF? Decay is something to do with taxes, I think, right? Because they're leveraged. Yeah, okay, here. Decay on leverage ETFs are known for their natural decay. On the long term, holding a position in an N times leverage ETF is generally worse than holding an N times leverage position in the underlying asset. Okay? So, but basically, dude, it's just better to hold the asset itself a long time in a leverage position than to hold the actual leverage ETF. Just look up beta. What is it? It's like beta. Yeah, look up beta slippage, buddy. Okay? Can I show how to use pivot points? Yeah, I can show pivot points. Alright, INPX. Do we have another chart besides INPX? And welcome back. Welcome back, Candy. Glad you're here. Yes, nunchucks. That would be better over a longer period of time. Okay? Mm-hmm. Have we done CYTX? Nope, we're not going to. Sorry. There's just no way to know, man. It's another one of those charts. Huge gaps. There's no way to know. You can't chart something like this. You're gonna require DD and things like that, okay? XL and X. Okay, see XL and X we can chart this one because it has somewhat of a trend, and these gap downs aren't super insane, okay? I mean, it's been on an uptrend technically since January of 2015. So we can actually even take our fib fan from way back here and chart it up, okay? Now, as you can see, it generally is staying within, all right? Definitely a little choppy, but it's not terrible, okay? Thank you, Candy. Okay. What I would probably do on this one, I'd probably start at the bottom of this trend here on August, where that buy signal happened on the MACD. So I'd go August 23rd up to, yeah, we haven't had a sell signal yet. So just go up to here. And so you can say it's been pretty unnatural with how intense it's been. And I bet you anything it starts consolidating soon. So if we pull up the Ichimoku, which some of you guys wanted an Ichimoku lesson? Is anybody that's still here, did you want an Ichimoku lesson or a different indicator or something? I feel like you guys have seen the fibs pretty well. And again, thank you all for being here. Sorry if I'm being too stern on some of these charts. It's just, you need to look at those, okay? You need to look at how those trends have been going for the last year or two, all right? And you really want to see if it's healthy or not, okay? When you see it flat for a whole year, there's just not much you can do on it chart-wise, okay? All right, so we'll do the Ichimoku then on, we'll do it on this one really quick. Well, actually, we already went over this chart, basically, though. Essentially, it's a pretty strong uptrend. If you have it, hold it. If you don't have it, just be careful. It looks like it's about to consolidate again, in my opinion, and maybe even test down to $70. Okay. But again, I think this one's an ETF, right? I don't really, I haven't really charted Apple, so I don't know what I would do on it. Okay. But let's check out HRTX then. Okay, so this one's not too bad. It hasn't really been doing too much. Just kind of hanging out between 1250 and 1750. But I'll pull up the Ichimoku for you, man, and we'll study it. So we did have some interest in the Ichimoku. Okay. Yeah, this is a pretty good one for Ichimoku. We can do it on here. What is what, Justin? And again, thank you guys for being here. I know it's Sunday night, and you don't have to be, so I super appreciate it. Okay. I'm not sure what your question was, Justin. But anyway, okay, let's talk about the Ichimoku a little bit then. Now, the Ichimoku is basically 4 different indicators. You have your leading span, your conversion line, which is this blue line. You have your baseline, which is this red line. You have your lagging indicator, which is this kind of golden kind of color. That's your lagging indicator. And you have a leading span, which is this green, which marks the cloud. And you have another leading span, which is red, that marks the cloud, okay? Do I use screeners? We have some people on the Discord that use screeners. And so, to be honest, I kind of rely on the Discord to bring up those screeners, and then we all attack them together, okay? Okay. So basically, this is a set of moving averages that create your indications here. So the best way to start is to just use this blue conversion line and the red baseline, okay? And what you're looking for in terms of buy signals is when the blue line is underneath and then crosses over the red line. And you want that to also be above the cloud, okay? So again, a buy signal on the Ichimoku is your conversion line, the blue line, crossing over the red line above the cloud. And as you can see, when that happened, the stock price did go up, okay? And what you're looking for a sell signal is when the blue line crosses underneath the red line. And as you can see, the stock price went down as the blue line went down, okay? Now, right here, you can see it went down even further, and the stock price did not start going up again until the conversion line switched directions. And then when it switched directions and went back up, so did the stock price. And you got your buy signal inside the conversion cloud, or the consolidation cloud, okay? Buy signal here, after it was already on an uptrend, stock price continued up, but now it's going back down, okay? So even though the blue line is still going up, the stock price wants to be close to this blue line, okay? That's how you know the stock is good, is when it's following this blue line very closely, okay? And what you also have right here is the lagging indicator, okay? And what you want the lagging indicator to do is be above the current stock price where it's at, okay? Because what that means is there is a positive trend, okay? So this lagging indicator is an indicator that is the same as the current stock price. So this box right here, it's the same as that. It's just 26 periods back. Okay? Do the periods of the moving averages for Ichi matter? Yeah, don't change them. Whatever it comes as, don't change it, because the Japanese are crazy and they made a perfect indicator, pretty much, okay? Yeah, whatever it comes as, just leave it, all right? So as you can see though, our lagging indicator is inside the price here. That generally means it's about to be in consolidation or more of a drop. You want the lagging indicator to be like it was here, above the stock price, because that's a current trend. Yeah, it's 26 periods for that, and you have a 9 and a 26. Okay? Yeah, that's fine though, because it works. Yeah, so even though it uses the six days, that's fine. You're thinking too much about it, nunchucks. Sorry, bro. You're just thinking too much about it. Unless you are super crazy advanced and you can read this Ichimoku like the back of your hand, you should not be changing it. Okay? That's just my opinion. You can change it however you want, but unless you're some sort of stock charting god and know exactly why and when you're changing it, for what purpose, there's no reason to, okay? But to get back onto what we're looking at, the green clouds are considered support, red clouds are considered your resistance, and you want if it's above the green cloud, you want it to bounce off the top, obviously. But if it's below a red cloud, it's most likely going to bounce off the bottom before it goes through, okay? So when it's below, it's obviously red, right? That's your resistance. And it's going to take a fight to push through a red cloud. Whereas if you're below a green cloud, getting back through is generally a little easier, but most likely you're going to consolidate sideways, okay? So this stock, looking at the Ichimoku, this stock is really violent, in my opinion, okay? It's not consolidating in the clouds. It's flying up, it's flying down, and it's just a very violent looking stock to me. Because even right now, what looks like it's about to happen is it's about to bust through the blue line again and start turning into another sell signal, and it's going to probably consolidate in this cloud again, okay? And this is why you don't only use the Ichimoku, you want other things as well, right? Because even though it was flying up here, away from the blue line, your stochastic momentum was overbought, okay? Your MACD was starting to slow down, okay? So you don't want to just use Ichimoku just like you don't want to use everything else. And somebody asked about pivot points, so let's bring up pivot points, okay? On pivot points, you have standard pivot points and you have Fibonacci pivot points. I always use Fibonacci, anything if I had the choice. Okay, so I just pull up the Fibonacci, shade it in, and take a look. All right. And we can do more Ichimoku later, some more advanced stuff on it. But I don't want to get too stuck on the Ichimoku right now because I want to answer the pivot points question, okay? All right, Chad, no problem, dude. And join the Discord if you haven't, okay? All right, so the way you use pivot points is basically like the name suggests there, Mike. It's a pivot. So it's either going to break and bounce up, or it's going to, bounce away from it back down. And you have 3 zones on each side, okay? You have your resistance zones on top, and you have your support zones on the bottom. And the way I personally like to use pivot points is to see where does the stock ride most of the time. And actually, let's do something other than HRTX. What was the other? What was another ticker that we had suggested? OCLR? Okay. Thank you, Candy. Alright. By the way, this looks pretty nice. OCLR looks pretty nice. Kind of stagnant now, but looks like you can do some swings with it, okay? But yeah, so this one, it actually uses these pivot points kind of okay. But basically what you want to do is look where your resistance points are and your support points are. And based on the direction the stock is going and based on your indicators, you can kind of determine if it's going to bounce off or break through, okay? So like let's look right here on the 6th of June. You see how it had a candle up to the top here, right? Check out where your stochastic momentum was. It was overbought, right? So you can kind of determine like, hey, it's way overbought. It's reaching upper resistance. MACD is pretty hot too. So the odds of it breaking that may not be that high. So you could plan that as a sell point, this 1079. You could plan that as like, hey, it's probably not going to bust out, which it did a little bit, but not very much because it was overbought and everything, right? And as it's falling, you can try to determine which resistance point is it going to bounce off of, okay? And again, you use your indicators for that, all right? All right, stochastic works pretty well with the pivot points too. So as you can see, it dipped down here, came back up, and basically just rode in the zone, all right? But your stochastic momentum was going down. So you knew like, hey, it's probably not going to be busting up above this anytime soon. And it didn't until your stochastic started turning up. There you go. And then again, your MACD was on a steady decline and your stock price followed it. So you can say like, hey, MACD is not turning up. I have a resistance line here. I have a resistance line here. It's probably not going to be breaking the zone until it gets to the bottom. And at the bottom here, if your MACD was starting to turn up, you're like, hey, that might be a good pivot point for it to bounce off of. Okay? Does that help you, Mike, with the pivot points? So basically what you just use it as a frame of reference, as general zones to use based upon the momentum with your other indicators. That's how I like to use it. Okay. And to be honest with you, I don't use pivot points that much, okay? I like to look at them and see where it's at inside it, but I'd much rather use a fib as a guide or something else as a guide instead, okay? But pivot points are very useful for seeing how it generally trends, okay? And we'll look at love next. Hey, Southwest Airlines. All right. Okay. Does anybody have a question on another indicator or anything like that? And again, thank you guys for being here for real. I super duper appreciate it. I know it's late on a Sunday night. You don't have to be here, but I love it, guys. This is what I love to do. Thanks for being here. And again, if you're not in the Discord, please join the Discord. And if you want to donate, you can, but you don't have to. Both links are in the YouTube description, so it's up to you. Yeah, if anybody has another indicator they want to see or anything like that, we can go over it. If not, I can just chart out love like I would chart it out on my own, or whatever you guys want. Okay. So it looks like we don't have any questions or anything. Yeah, Muzak. We talked about volume earlier, actually. Volume is very important, especially when you're first starting. Basically, volume is most important on something that you see is really spiky in the price, so you can determine if it's a pump and dump or not. And you want to make sure you're not buying something that's dying on the volume, okay? Thank you for the thanks for the request, guys, and thanks, Candy, for keeping track. Okay. So like on this one, with the volume, you can see it's pretty much steady and the same all the time. So I'd say it's pretty healthy, okay? What are other volume indicators? Pretty much just volume, man. There's lots of things that use volume, but you can do volume profile right here just to see it like on the side. You can do the volume oscillator. I don't know if you've seen the volume oscillator before, but it's kind of like that at the Chaikin Money Flow or whatever. Hold on. We got Chaikin volatility too. Hold on. So you can see that they're kind of the opposite of each other. So these are good to use together. The Chaikin Money Flow and the volume oscillator. Those can help you out. Okay. And volume oscillator is just nice because you can see very quickly how relative it was to the last few days. So it's pretty cool. Bull power and bear power, the elder ray, is based on volume and purchase price and how many purchases there are. You like my shirt? Oh, okay. This is just a crappy shirt I got from work. I need to do laundry. But thanks, man. But yeah, the elder ray is kind of like the volume as well, but it's mostly based on buying pressure and selling pressure. It's cute. All right. So yeah, but this you see this who asked nunchucks? What this does, the volume profile, it tells you how much volume there is at each price, which I think is pretty darn cool. So you can say like, look, a ton of people bought at this price. Not a lot of people bought at this huge candle here. So that tells you this candle is probably going to be going down. Okay, it's probably going to retrace to where this less volume had. It's got to fill this gap. Okay. If you look, your stochastic's turning down too. You got a sell signal on the stochastic momentum. But your MACD is nice and steady, but if you zoom in really close, it's kind of going down a little bit. It's kind of leveling off, okay? Is it worth the lifetime sub? There's no sub fee. The Discord's free, bro. You never have to pay for the Discord. The only time I ever make money, Justin, is if people decide to donate with that PayPal link. Yeah, dude. No, the Discord's 100% free, man. I don't know what you're talking about. What is... I have no idea what you're talking about with a lifetime Discord thing. I think you have found the wrong one, bro. Yeah, you definitely found the wrong Discord, my man. Because I don't charge money for the Discord. That's for you guys. The only time I get money is from the PayPal link. So don't worry. But yeah, I think the Love, whoever requested Love, it's about to be on a little bit of a downturn, but it should find just enough support at 55. Just fine. And bounce off there and continue up. It seems to be on a pretty nice uptrend from here. We can actually do our charting trick on it if you guys want. We can do that fib charting trick. I don't program really anymore. More like sysadmin. That's called the volume profile. It's called volume profile. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do our fib fan trick for because Astro, you donated, bro. So I definitely want to help you out on this chart because thank you so much for your donation. Okay. So I'll do the best I can. All right. MACD is going up still. That's good. Stochastic's kind of leveling off though. It's a little overbought right now. Yeah, it's a little overbought on the stochastic momentum as well, dude. Okay. We had our trend going. Seems to be testing out of it just fine. We're definitely on a new trend though because of how hard this busted out, okay? So let's go ahead and do our trick and see if it works, all right? So we have a segment here. What do we take it to? Oh, to here. Okay, so we have a segment of 43 bars. So we're gonna go 43 bars out. So about November 3rd. Let's get our fib fan back out. Let's take this up to November 3rd. Okay. Remember, this is just my little fib trick. This isn't like an actual technique, okay? But as you can see, it works just fine. I just don't know how, but every time it just works just fine. Look how it rode along the trend here. Busted down, went back up, and look where the top is, man. It tested here. It couldn't break through. It's going back down. I don't know why this method works. It just does. It's black magic for all I know. I have no idea why when I did this that one day, it just started working. I can't tell you. All right. But let's go ahead and get our arcs too. No problem, John Kelly. Glad you're here, dude. Oh, Mike, you're also sysadmin? Hell yeah. We got a few of those in our board, okay? If you join the Discord, you'll have plenty of sysadmins to chat with. Okay, and we'll add this one here. Okay. So if you look, again, you can just see where it works. Tested the fib arc here, went down, tested. Okay, went down here, tested the arc, crashed through the fib fan, went up, tested the edge of the arc, went back down and tested the circle again. Okay, busted through, went down to the center, rode our fib fan up, rode our fib fan down, rode our fib fan up, tested through double arcs, and now we're stuck in this zone. Okay? It's amazing how well it can map out what's going on. So what I'm seeing here, though, I'm seeing again that it's going to go down to this fib line and hopefully bounce up. My guess, personally, you'll see around 57. If it doesn't break through 57.75, like if it bounces up, you're going to follow this trend here just fine. But if it breaks through 57.75, you're probably going to be retesting this gap here. Because remember, look at our volume profile. You see how empty it was right here on the volume? Okay? That means there's gap to fill. Alright? So my guess, personally, is that tomorrow, you dip down to 57.75, and you're probably going to dip down further towards the circle right here, where the volume starts picking up in the gap. So you're probably going to see at least 56.60, okay? All right. Does that help you out with Southwest Airlines? And hopefully a little bit of a fib test too there for you? All right, so we can do a couple more charts. Seems like people are kind of dropping off now, but it's okay. I'll keep charting for you guys that are here. If it's okay though, I'm gonna take like a short, like 2-minute break, and then we'll come back and just do a couple more charts. Is that all right with you guys? Yeah, we'll finish with those last 3 that Candy just posted. Okay. All right, cool. Well, yeah, let me just take a short break. We'll do those last 3 charts, and then I'll let you guys enjoy your night, okay? And let me, and I'm really sorry for this, but I'm going to play an ad, and then I'll be back shortly after that, okay? And you don't have to watch the ad, you can skip it and all that. I'm just gonna play it because I need money. I'm really poor, guys. Alright, I'll be right back.
You ain't been inside my head. You ain't been inside my head. I don't need to return to my old life. This is a new existence, a new dynamic, not defined by limitations. about endless possibility, possibility. I don't need to return to my old life. This is a new existence, a new dynamic, not defined by limitations, but rather by endless possibility, possibility.
Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, it's in the YouTube description, guys. Just look underneath the video and you'll see the PayPal link and the Discord link, okay? Alright, so let's go ahead and do these last three charts and any final questions you guys have. Alright, there's only 12 people here, so I can probably get to your question no problem. So if you guys have an indicator you want to see or anything like that, now's your chance, okay? And HMNY, I don't even know when it's going to stop, to be honest with you. I bought this at 1080 and I sold it at 1326, and I honestly am surprised it's still going. Okay, I don't know when it's going to stop. It's extremely hard to chart this one. That's why I just use these spikes as a previous resistance. Okay. Hey Mike, parabolic SAR, we went through that one the other day, and it's somewhat reliable, but there's a few issues with it. And the issues are that if a stock is really horizontal, okay, it's going to be really hard to use those indicators on a very horizontal or choppy stock. But something with a nice trend, it's generally okay. All right. So like as you can see here, your buy signal, like on this one right here, your buy signal was here, and it had you sell the next day. But if you sold, you lost money. You see? It's a little slow. And right here, you're still on a sell, and you bought, like let's say you bought on this day. Again, it had you buying this whole time the price was going down. Okay? You had your sell when the price went back up. Okay? You had your buy here, and that's a good buy signal because it's been on an uptrend. And you're still very much on a buy signal, even though we don't really know what the top is going to be. Okay? So my issues with the parabolic SAR are just it's a little bit slow, and sometimes you get false buys and sells, okay? But there's nothing wrong with the indicator. I would just definitely, like always, use it in conjunction with other stuff, okay? Don't use just that. And nunchucks, that sucks. I hope you made profit, though. But yeah, so according to the SAR, though, you still have a buy signal on this, alright? So it could keep going up. MACD is still going crazy. It's overbought, but it hasn't slowed it down yet. Okay? So yeah, I thought it might be a pump and dump too, but that news was so good. And again, that's what I say. How many times have I said it, you know? If the chart looks like this, there's no way to know whether that news is going to work or not. You know what I'm saying? Because it very easily, this news could have come out and everybody sold and it wasn't enough to keep it going. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you can't chart something like this, in my opinion. You can use these previous resistance levels as a indicator of where it might top, but it's extremely hard to chart something like this, okay? And it just broke this peak here, so you may be testing $17, all right? But again, I can't chart this. I can't tell you whether to hop in or not, but if you're at a profit, it's never bad to lock in profits, okay? See what else? What was the other chart? OPGN? Alright. Does anybody else have a question on an indicator or anything like that? And again on this one, I can't recommend it. It's been stair-stepping the wrong way. It seems to be completely flat now. And if you look, the MACD has tried to be a, you know, continuous buy, but your price level is stagnant, okay? And you just got another sell signal on the stochastic momentum, okay? So I can't recommend this one. This is going to be one you're going to have to wait for PR, okay? Because it just doesn't have a steady trend either direction right now. It's just kind of consolidating between 25 and 37 cents. So until you see it start going upward, there's really not much I can say, okay? I just can't recommend a chart like this. Alright? It's been flat since the 13th of July. Alright? Okay. Now let's look at FGen. Okay, now this one looks a little better, right? It was consolidating between $22 and $14 for quite some time. It finally broke out of the $22 zone. Okay, and it's been kind of steady up since then. And then we had a huge gap up, and we're finally breaking out of that gap. So that actually looks pretty good to me. It looks like all the bag holders got out, and now it's creating a new trend. So this one's actually a little bit more interesting to me. I think we can go ahead and chart it. And let's see here. I kind of want to fib arc this one. We're going to go to the buy signal. Okay. So definitely had its tests, consolidation, broke free, broke free, and now we're in uncharted territory. It looks like it kind of wants to follow the fib back down, right? But we need more information. So let's go ahead and use the fib fan. Let's go to this MACD buy signal, okay? We're going to use that as our starting point. And we're going to go up to the peak, which even we could actually go yeah, really we would go down to here on the sell signal, or on the other buy signal. Okay. So yeah, you can see how it wanted to ride in this upper fib range. It couldn't do it. 2 red candles with the test through. Consolidation with the bounce away. Breakthrough and back down. So that tells me that the range it really wants to be in is right here. Okay. Now, it's hard to say where it's going to bottom out, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's at the bottom of this huge green candle here. Right about 53.50. That's where I'd be looking for it to bounce off of and continue upwards. If you see it starting to break 53.50 and go back down, you could very easily see $50 again. But I think this is a pretty strong trend, and I think that this dip down isn't that scary, to be honest with you. Okay? You bought it at 35? Sell it, bro. You're up $20. You should be selling that, okay? At least sell to cover your initial investment and ride some free ones, Sam. Okay? When you're up $20, I mean, that's almost 50%. Okay? I would definitely be selling and getting some profit from it and then riding it out and seeing if this trend continues. But there's just no way to know if the trend's going to continue, you know what I mean? And we can do our method. I'll do our method for you and see what we can get. Go to here, here. So 27 bars out. So like to there. Get our fib fan back out. Go from about like right here. 27 bars out. Yeah, so it broke away hard from what we would normally see. Okay? That's a little bit scary to me, to be honest with you. Okay? Yeah, you can see where it tested the arc right here. And then bounced up and ran along with this arc. But now it's going down in no man's zone. Okay? So again, I'm going to say look for a bounce around 53.50, 53.45, where all these meet. And if you don't see that bounce up, you're going to be testing in this lower zone. Okay? You requested this one, Mike, and you're looking at getting in? Well, Mike, I would say, again, same thing as I'm going to tell him. Look for it to go down to 53.50 and get a price rejection. And if you get a nice price rejection off 53.50, I say it's okay to try to play it. All right? But as of right now, it's breaking really hard away from trend. Okay? And it's just a little bit scary until we see the next bounce up. All right? Does that help you guys out on this one? But I would imagine that what you're going to see is it tests, I need a segment, where you're going to see, honestly, what I think is a test down to the middle fib around $51, and then it's going to go like this. That's my opinion. Okay. So if you see it break 53.50, expect it to go down to around 51, and it should recover from 51 and continue on these trends, okay? I'll leave this fib stuff up on this chart so you guys can request it again later, and we'll see how accurate it was, okay? But yeah, I expect it to go more down between 53 and 51, and then it'll recover upwards, okay? OPTT. Alright, so this one, I don't like it all, dude. Because again, huge spike, sell off into nothing, spike, sell off into nothing, and we're dead, okay? OTIS. I had to have changed symbols or something. OTIS doesn't pull up. But we'll do one more chart and a couple more questions, okay? And then I'm probably going to get out of here. OTIC. Alright, and again, no. Sorry, bro. That's not bad if a ticker changes. Alright, well, we don't have to end now, but we're just, I haven't been getting any questions really. I'm not really sure what else we could do. We can take a couple more charts. How do you pick a good bio stock? There's lots of websites for them. Really, my basic steps are, honestly, it's the Discord, man. We have so many people in there that they are so much better at finding things than me that I just rely on the Discord and people I know. And I think there's one like Biopharma Stock Alerts or something like that. It's a website, something like that. I forgot the exact name. But there's a website that updates weekly that has things with upcoming catalysts. So basically, you want to find a chart that's in a nice strong uptrend that has catalyst on the way. And then do more DD on it, and then do your charting. Yeah, don't worry, we're not gonna talk about Driss. Yeah, check out the DD and the Caper channel. That's one that we're expecting to do well. But again, if you had shown me Caper back in June, I would have said, hell no, don't buy it. This is a piece of crap. You see, because you see this huge gap down, then like don't buy it. And then that's another thing that tells you when you see charts like this, it's all reliant on the PR. Okay? You can't really chart something like that. But if you get, you know, a good PR and stuff like that, that's when you can start going in and trying to chart it. Okay? But again, I don't like this chart. But that doesn't mean it's a bad play if the PR is going to be there to fix it. Okay? It's just I don't recommend charts that are doing things like this. But I know what's coming up for Caper, and it may end up being okay. You know what I mean? But again, there's really not much going on for it in terms of the chart. All right. And most likely is going to test up at 294 tomorrow, though. Yeah, we can look at Snap. Okay. So Snap had a very clear price rejection at 13, and it can't really figure out what it wants to do, though. I mean, look at this. It's everywhere. So it's one I probably wouldn't recommend either, but it is technically on a buy after a huge gap up. It's a little overbought now, though, so you got to be careful about that. Okay. So I'm not going to recommend Snap just because the chart's so crazy, but that doesn't mean it is a bad play. Yeah. So really, yeah, if it keeps rejecting off here above 1465, you should be okay though. But I mean, just look how quickly it dies, okay? Look at these huge gap downs. All right? Gap ups too. It's just very volatile, okay? It's hard to chart. I personally wouldn't recommend it unless you've been following it closely, okay? And you know what's going on with it, because I don't know what's going on with it, but it's pretty crazy. Yeah, I'd say make sure it bounces off of here at 1470 and doesn't dip below 1470, okay? Because once you're dipping below 1470, you're dealing with all this empty space, all right? But it's most likely going to hang out between 1470 and 1480, all right? FLXN, I am playing it. I'm trying to play it to $45 on FLXN. But I think it's going to be a guaranteed 35. But I'm going to try to play it to 45. And if it's really strong at 45, I may try to play it to 60. No, IPOs are a good idea. You just got to be in and out of them quick. Because most of the time they're going to launch and then they'll get sold. So really it's generally like you want to play it for like 30% or something on an IPO and then watch it and see what happens. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. The IPO came out right here at 2350, right? You got your spike at 29. So $6, so about 24, 25%, like I just said. And then you got your sell-off, and then it crashed below IPO. And that's generally what you're going to see. You're going to see about 25, 30% sell-off, and then it's got to figure out what its price is. And you see how it just kind of rode in this range? Okay? Yeah, there's an IPO, try to buy it as soon as it's open, but sell it as soon as it starts to peak. Okay? What did Facebook do? Facebook died instantly, if I remember. Yeah, Facebook came out at 44 and immediately died because their IPO was too high. Okay. So it's not a guarantee that you'll make money, but generally they jump about 30%. Hair or Carg IPOs? Are those not out yet? Oh, well there's Hair for you. It's dead as crap. Yep, that one, nothing. Okay. And Carg doesn't even pull up for me, bro. So it must not be out yet. Alright, so IPOs are risky. There's not really a guarantee of anything they're gonna do. Alright. Alright guys. Well, I'm probably gonna end it here though. I'm getting a little tired. I'll be in the Discord though. No, I don't avoid Chinese stocks. I just don't run them across them that often. Like here's one that's okay, Beeson. It's not the worst. This is a Chinese stock. But no, I don't avoid them. I just don't really run across them that often. Yeah. Yeah, no problem, Mike. Yeah, I generally stream a little bit longer, but it's Sunday night. We've kind of died off, only like 14 people, so but yeah, no, thanks guys for being here. We'll do one Monday night too. We generally do one opening day of the week. But join us for the Discord. We'll be chatting all night, and we have a lot of fun there. And if it did help you guys out, please donate if you want to. It just goes straight to my bills. But again, the Discord's always free. The stream is always free. It's purely run on donations. So, like, don't feel like you have to donate, but you are directly supporting the stream, okay? What time on Monday? Generally on Monday, we'll start at like 8 p.m. Central Time or like 9 p.m. Central Time, okay? Alright, guys. And again, thank you very much for coming. I super amazingly appreciate it. It's always lots of fun. And yeah, try to think of some charts to bring tomorrow, okay? You see something interesting on Monday, mark it down, and let's take a look at it after market, okay? And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to play a little bit of an ad here at the end. You don't have to watch it, but I'm just going to play it really quick and then shut down the stream. And again, thank you so much, guys. And thank you, Candy, for all your help always in the streams, keeping me organized. I super appreciate it. I really, really do. Okay? Alright, guys. Well, I'll see you next time, okay? Have a good one.